Hey y'all, welcome back to our Life in the Sticks. Today I'm going to hook up a mini split system in our tiny home. It's actually going to be our cooling, air conditioning, and it's going to be backup heat. We have an outside wood burning boiler that it's not hooked up. We're going to hook that up this summer. You'll see that. It's got tubing in the floor of my house and my garage. And when we're not home, or if we go somewhere, we want to have some heat in here to keep it from freezing. So today we're going to hook this up. I already put the bracket on the wall. They tell you in the instructions minimum distances from the wall to the ceiling. So I mounted that already. So we're going to get at. I marked holes on the wall while this was up there, and we'll get at and we'll get this thing hooked up today. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I forgot to mention earlier, on the other side of this wall is my garage and my electrical panels there. Outside, there's the outside unit that goes with this. It's sitting right here on the other side of the wall. So I'm going to go through into the garage, down the wall, then out through the wall underneath my electrical panel. It'll make it a lot nicer installation for our application here. So I forgot to mention that, but we'll go out in the garage and drill some holes out there now. Since I got this hole in. These pipes right here all go out through this little hole, and they're going to go out. Okay, we're out in the garage, and I forgot to push the record button, but there's the hole up there. And down here, down by those red pipes, I'm going to go out through the wall with another hole. I'm going to drill from the outside in so I know where I want to put that. Now those red pipes are the ones that go into concrete. They are going to be the ones hooked up to the outside wood burning boiler to heat our house. And there's my pump for the water. Right now we are hauling water. Here in a couple weeks, a friend of mine is bringing his equipment over, and we're going to develop a spring right behind the house for our water supply. So I'll see you outside. Okay, here we are outside. I'm going to come right through here. This is cement board, so I don't want to use my hole saw on that and totally ruin it. So I'm going to try this oscillating tool, and we'll see if I can get through it with this. I hope it makes it through before it dulls it up too bad. So we'll see what happens. I can put this hole in here. Then I'm going to drill kind of on an uphill angle, because those tubing are going to be coming down in there and they got to bend out, and it would just facilitate bending easier if the holes are in line with the pipe. So here we go. Okay, it went through. It's ugly, but it should work. We're going to paint this, and I'm going to have to caulk around this hole anyway to keep critters and vermin out. Okay. That looks good. Okay, I marked a hole on the inside, so we can go on back to the inside and drill another hole coming out. Okay, we're back in the garage. Right here is where the hole's coming in from outside. I'm going to use a bigger bit here to help get that through there. If I can do this without breaking my arm. Success. Very good. There's the hole going outside. There's the hole coming from inside. Okay, now I tried to video putting those pipes out, that line set out through the wall, and knocked the camera over once, so I moved it. So we're going to try to get them up through this hole up here without knocking the camera over. This would definitely help to have an extra hand here. Okay, so there we go. Now we got to go inside. Okay, before I tighten these refrigerant lines up, I decided I better shove this. This is a drain line off of here. This is for condensation, and the electric line, I shoved that through too. I figured I better do that before I get them hooked up and have to fight them in. And it wasn't easy. Then the company sent some tape to tape over this so it doesn't drip. And it wasn't sticky. So I had to find some, I had some foam tape that I had here. I just insulated it through the wall. And if I have any trouble with it, I can insulate the rest later. But I wanted to get this insulated. So what we got to do, let's tuck that up in. This line goes to this line, and this one goes to here. Now, they say that this unit is pressurized. So, yeah, it was. So that's good. So the unit doesn't have any holes in it. Okay. I think we'll do this small line first because it's the hardest to get to. Pull the plug out of there. Now there's a flare. This is flared, and it goes against this fitting that's flared. So we're going to put some sealant we're gonna put those together. I think these are also metric, which I have my metric wrenches in here if I can't get it with this, but I think we'll be fine. Okay. Okay, there's those. Those will be insulated with this, but we're not going to put that on right now. When we charge the system, I want to make sure they don't leak. We can hook up this drain. Okay, got to make sure that drain is on the lowest point as it goes through that hole. And now we got to figure out how to get this electric line weaved through. So I'm going to figure that out and I'll get right back with you. Okay, I found a place to weave this through. It comes up through here. There's 3 poles here. There's 3 wires with a connector on the end. And then there's a ground that goes over here. And then on outside, the other end of this wire has 3 corresponding. So wherever I put whatever number I put the corresponding color on has to be the same outside on the unit. So I'm going to go black. First one will be black right here. On the number 1. And then I'm going to go red on number 2. If I can get it in there. Well, maybe. There. And then white on this 3 here. Y'all remember that for me when I get outside. Okay, there we go. So we can head outside and hook up the outside unit. Okay, here we are back outside. It rained. I had to go get a sweatshirt because it was so cold. It's really changed the temperature. So now I got my pipes ready to flare and hook up here, our refrigeration lines. So I think we'll start with the 1/4 inch one first. Put it on. They want you to let it stick through a millimeter. Okay, that one's flared. Oh. Gonna put that nut on there first, or we're gonna have problems. Wouldn't be the end of the world. I just have to cut the flare off and put the nut on and redo it. Okay, here's the flare on the end that I put on there. And it matches up with that piece. Okay. Just kind of want to hang on to this while I tighten it so I don't put more pressure on there than what I need to. sure this fits back on. Yep. Certainly does. Okay. So now on to the wiring. This is wiring from inside the breaker panel. And this is the wire from inside. This will also go to in here. Here's our 1, 2, 3 that we had inside the corresponding numbers. And I went black, red, and white. And then there's also a ground here that's going to go to this green screw in there. Here are the lines, the two hot lines coming from the panel. A 15 amp breaker, 220 or 240 breaker. Here's the ground to that. It went to here. These two hots went to these. Right here it says line. You can't see it. It's too dark in there. And then these are two load lines go to here. Once I put the disconnect in, it just ties these two together. Bugger don't want to come out of there. Okay, I went black. Red. And a green. Okay. Inside, pole number 1 had black on it. Pole number 2 had red. Pole number 3 had white. And then the green wires down here on that ground screw. These are my two hot lines from the panel and a ground from the panel. So I'm gonna button this up and I'll get back with you. Okay, there it is, all buttoned up. Got the electrical all closed up. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of caulking and sealing around that nasty hole I made yesterday. But this drain line here, it can just come out onto the ground. I'll probably bring it out away from the building a little bit. But yeah, there we go. We got to get a friend of mine is coming with a HVAC vacuum pump and his gauges, so we can hook them up here, which draws all the moisture, all the air, everything out of the lines up to the inside unit. And once those are evacuated with a vacuum, we'll turn a little bit of refrigerant on. We'll double check for leaks, and then we can turn it on. Here I had somebody come and use the vacuum pump to evacuate the air and non-condensables out of the lines. Then we tested them inside and out where I made the connections, and everything was good. So we turned it on, and you can see what I did from this point on. Okay, so now we have the lines all charged and checked for leaks. It's ready to turn on now. So I'm gonna tuck this all in here, and then we're gonna get this baby turned on. Okay, so here's the 15 amp breaker. Okay, now we're back inside. It says to run this unit at for 5 minutes on cool. So this is a pretty cool little remote control. So we're gonna run it for a little bit. See, it's even got a digital or a readout. This is where you have it set. So we're gonna run it on cool for 5 minutes. I'll get back with you. Okay, so we're back. It's ran for 5 minutes. It's putting out some very cold air. So now we're gonna try to run it on heat mode. Oops, what am I doing here? I pushed the button. I shouldn't have. Mode. Heat. I'll turn it up a little. We'll run it for 5 minutes on heat. Okay, she's putting out heat. It took a few minutes to switch from the cooling mode to heat mode. But it seems to be working fine. So we're gonna go outside and look at the outside unit and hear it run. I don't think it's gonna be very loud. I don't hear it from inside the house here. Okay, well there it is running. It's very quiet. Definitely can't hear it from inside. So now I have to, I'll put that little cover on the valves down there. And we'll go inside and enjoy the, probably gonna need heat today because it's not very warm. Okay, so there you go. That's what it takes to put a mini split in. I'm sure I'll spare you some of the small details of drilling the holes or hooking some of the stuff up, but I think I've went over pretty much the major things to hooking this thing up. I've never done one of these before, so it is doable for somebody that's do-it-yourselfer. You do have to have somebody who is certified in refrigeration to do the evacuation and turning it on, starting the unit up. So that was to not void your warranty. So it is very doable. I like it. It's very quiet. I think it's going to be a good addition to our tiny house here. So thanks for joining us here on Our Life in the Sticks. If you like our content, like and subscribe. It'll really help our channel. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining us.